All right, everyone, class is about to start. Take your seats. Welcome to UGC 101, the podcast about all things user-generated content.
Welcome to the UGC 101 podcast. Today, I am super excited for this conversation because this is something that relates to me personally and how I started UGC and how I'm still doing UGC. So we're going to talk about how you can do UGC part-time and still have that 9-to-5 grind. So we are talking to Mehr. Mehr, I'm going to let you introduce yourself to our listeners.
Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm Mehr. I've been a part-time UGC creator now for just over 2 years and a bit. I'm coming up on 2.5. Yeah, like Nate said, doing UGC part-time is pretty near and dear to my heart too. But we're here to, let you guys know that you can definitely still make a very good income doing it part-time.
I love it. I always like to start the episode and asking, like, who got you into this? How did you stumble upon UGC? Like, give us your kind of origin story.
Yeah, the lore. So I guess pretty much what happened was I was living out west. I had taken a job like within my company to take like a sales position and just develop the West Coast or office in Vancouver. And I had a really toxic manager who thought that I was going for his job. Which is hilarious because he had like 5 years on me. I'm like, dude, I don't want your job anyway. So I was so miserable. I was 24 and I was like, okay, like I wanted to become an influencer. So I was like making TikToks and stuff like that. And then I came across a creator and she was talking about UGC and talking about her portfolio. And I was like, okay, I can do that. Like it seems kind of hard to believe, but whatever, I'll try it. So I actually took, this is in 2022. So December 2022, I took off like my Christmas break, like took my 2 weeks holiday during that time and like made a UGC portfolio, got on X, Twitter at the time, just kind of started networking with the community more or less. And like my portfolio was tragic. It was like what you would not call UGC. It's what we tell you not to do now. It was all aesthetic, like the very like, with the lights and everything.
Yeah,
and
way too polished.
Way too polished. And then there was a creator, her name is Sean. She's a close friend now. But she's like, oh, I'm coming to Vancouver and I'm going to do like a meetup. Like, let's talk UGC, blah, blah. I'm only picking like 15 people. So she selected me. I met up with her and a few other girls and she was going on and on about UGC. And I was like, okay, like, I guess this is legit because prior to meeting Sean, I'd actually met up with one other girl who told me about UGC and how she's pursuing it in Vancouver, but I didn't really like get too much out of her. So anyways, I eventually quit that toxic job in January of 2022 to move back
like
to
right
Toronto.
after your Christmas break.
Like a month after. So like right at the end of the month. So like, well, actually, that's a lie. I mentally quit, and then in February I quit. So like, it's like I had to move everything back, like figure out how to move my car back, like move everything back. And so what happened was I ended up quitting my job like mid-February. I had to like arrange to move my car, arrange to do all that stuff. I had to find a new job. I was very like, oh my goodness, how am I going to afford life? Like I'm moving back to Toronto. It's going to be expensive. Yeah. So by that time, like January, I didn't land any UGC deals. I landed 2, I guess, like one on Upwork and one on Fiverr, and they were like $100 each. Like it wasn't anything crazy. But then like February, at the end of the month, literally I was sitting at Vancouver airport. I started getting inbounds. Like I got like 2 or 3 inbounds with brands that I closed deals with. And I think in February, I made about $2,500 US, which like in Canadian dollars, that's like $3,000, $3,500.
Yeah. Well, like your first month ever doing it, that's
like
wild.
Yeah, like literally,
like,
it was insane. So I was like, okay, like I'm so grateful for it because at the time, like moving my car back to Toronto was expensive. It was $2,100. So I pretty much just
covered it. Let's go.
You pretty much used it to pay for that. So that's kind of how I came across UGC. And then like once you start making the money, then you're like, okay, like I wanna keep doing this. And I just kind of like compounded on top of it, and here we are today.
That's crazy. So I know that then you ended up getting another, like back to, you're working full time. So you end up getting back into, I would say corporate America, but corporate Canada, I guess, right? Canada. So then how did you, when you very first started, because I started doing UGC about a year ago, like January last year. I still work full time. Like I work in in tech, and like it's hard to balance sometimes, right? So what made you decide, okay, I still want the stability of like a day, like a 9 to 5, or what was it that made you get the job after you started seeing that early success?
Well, for me, I had already been about 5 years into building my career in sales. So I worked in supply chain and logistics, and I was doing logistics sales. And like at my age, like salary wise, I was doing pretty well. So I was making about like 120K a year, like 24, 25 doing sales. And I was like, this is really good money. And I was only like a month or two into UGC at this point, right? I didn't know
you weren't going to you weren't going to sell the farm.
I can't throw this away. Like I have benefits and stuff. Like I'm not letting any of that go. But even after my first year of me cracking I made exactly $105,000 in my first Canadian in my first year of UGC. Jeez. And I was like, okay, like I just I still don't feel like I could. Number one, I'm making less than what I'm making like doing my 9 to 5 anyways. Yep. Second of all, like it does come with a lot of security. But then I reached a point with that specific 9 to 5 where I just didn't love it anymore. So like I quit that job that I'd come back like to Toronto for about 8 or 9 months in to take a position with one of my old managers at the company he was at now.
Yeah.
And it was a crappy company. We both actually ended up quitting, but he pretty much like told me, he's like, you're doing so well. Like at this point I was already a year and a bit into UGC. He's like, you're doing so well. Like just go all in. Like it's fine. Yeah. I still couldn't go all in. So I quit the industry, but I snagged a creative strategist position with an agency based in the US, and they paid me like $90,000 as a creative strategist, which is like 130,000 Canadian. Yeah, so I was making very similar to what I was making at my last job. So I was like, okay, sick. Like, let's just keep doing this. So now I'm like a senior creative strategist / creative director, and I have my UGC business, and then I have a mentorship and a school community. Cause I was like, damn, like I should teach people how to do this. So my school community is called 6 Figures After 5 because I'm a 9 to 5er, and I genuinely believe people can do it. So
yeah, that's sweet. When you first started, how did you balance the two? Right. Like it's tough.
It's tough. Honestly, like I didn't have a social life. I didn't go out anywhere. I was 25, 26. I literally didn't go out anywhere. Like I moved back. I'm finally like back with where my friends and family are. And I would just work every single weekend, mostly because like I didn't want to feel financial insecurity. That's one thing I like don't ever want to feel is financial insecurity. That scares the shit out of me. Like I don't want it. Like I don't care. People in the UGC community are different. I feel like if you've never had a job before, you view your time a lot differently. Like for me, I'm just kind of like, I can't imagine just, living my best life, working less and being okay with just making whatever my salary is. That freaked me out because the cost of living like in Toronto is very high. Wild, I wanted my savings to go up. Houses here are well over $1 million. Like a crappy house here is well over $1 million. Like everyone in Canada is a millionaire if you count like their house, right? Like, so for me, I was like, I need to get ahead of the curve. So I pretty much said, what is it? Cry now, laugh later. So that's kind of like the thing I took. And my fiance is like insanely supportive. He knows that I'm a little like go-getter. He helps me film so much of my UGC content.
Yeah, it's so nice when you have someone that can film.
Yeah, like, right. But like in return, like we were able to take a business class flight to Italy where we got engaged. We flew back. So awesome. Like we did a bunch of like stupid luxury shopping. Now people might say, well, what happened to the financial security you're pining after for spending $3,000 on luxury bags? And I'm like, yes, you're right. But it's like the opportunity to do it, right? Like you can do it because you're not burning as fast as you're earning, right? Like I'm making more money faster than I'm spending it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So plus I'm like, really like financially responsible. Everything's locked away. I can't touch that money. So for me, it really just was the money that motivated me. I was like, listen, like be miserable now and you're going to laugh later. So like even now I save like probably 70% of everything I make, and I keep 30% just for like, life.
Yeah, for sure. So when you're in your community, you're talking about how to do this after 5 o'clock, right? Are there any tips or tricks? You don't have to give away too many of the secrets that are already in the course, right? But like, what are like your top tips of like, for somebody that is wanting to do this as a part-time gig? Because I'm one of the few people I know that do this like part-time, and I tell like a lot of my friends and family and people that I have in my community as well, because we all have our own little communities, right? Of like, hey, you can do this part-time for sure. You can keep your full-time job, but what are the tips and tricks that you give people that are wanting to do this part-time?
I give out so much free information. There's nothing that I haven't given out for free that isn't in that school community. I swear to God. Like, I genuinely just want people to like be able to go and do this. But my number one tip is just being okay with sacrificing your fun, because it is just so easy to come home after your 9 to 5, whether you're a nurse, teacher, whether you work in sales, doesn't matter what you do, come home after your 9 to 5 and just like want to veg out in front of Netflix. Like, I've been there. Like, the days are so long. You don't want to do any work. Like, it sounds gross. Like, you don't, you just have to like, you're not going to rely on motivation. You have to rely on discipline, and you have to be obsessed. And like, my biggest thing is that I've always been someone that becomes obsessed with what they're doing. It all started like with my weight loss journey. Like, I lost a bunch of weight. Like back in 2018, I lost about 70 pounds. But like, I became obsessed with being healthy and nutrition and going to the gym, right? I made it into a lifestyle. And I view UGC as the same way. Like, it's a business. In order for your business to thrive, you have to be obsessed. You have to want it more than anyone else, right? And where there's a will, there's a way. People that want it, they're going to get it done, right? So like, summer, in my opinion, is the best time to start UGC part-time.
Hours.
Because the sun's up longer. You have nothing to worry about. There's no stress, right? Build your foundation during the summertime, and then by the wintertime comes, you got good relationships, you've kind of figured out your lighting situation, right? So that's like my number one tip. You have to be able to sacrifice. Like, I've tried to get like my best friends into UGC, and I'm like, you guys are being so dumb. Like, people pay me to help them. I'm giving you this advice for free. Do this, this. Won't do it. Can't do it because they're tired.
It's interesting. You're tired. I want to watch a show. Like, I can't actually. It's funny because I am like so far behind on like Severance and White Lotus, and I'm like, it'd be cool to watch these shows at some point. But I'm like, but like you said, I'm in Utah, so similar. Like the winters, I get maybe an hour after 5 o'clock, right? Luckily, we just had the movement, so like now I got like 2 hours. So I'm like, okay, summer's unreal, because then I get 4 hours after work, and then I like really stack my Saturdays and Sundays with filming, and then I'll edit like Monday, Tuesday. Right, you got to film during the light, film at night, and then edit at night, type thing.
Edit at night. I'm going to be editing tonight because I filmed all weekend, but like, I was up until 10:30 yesterday editing all my content, submitting it, and then I've got 3 videos that I need to edit tonight and submit tonight. Like, I'm just exhausted. And like, honestly, I think now that I'm like completely remote, working from home because of the agency stuff, I think I work more. I never leave this room.
Like, for sure, you have too much stuff going on. That's super interesting. So, are there what in your experience over the last 2 years now since you've started? When did you start 6 Figures After 5?
I started 6 Figures After 5 when I quit my 9 to 5, like my proper 9 to 5, like my career 9 to 5. I actually made a post about it yesterday. I was like, so many people would say that I committed career suicide by like literally abandoning my career I worked so hard to build for like 7 years. But I mean, UGC took me just as long to build, for 2 years, right? And that was part-time. So created 6 Figures After 5, October of 2024. We were already at 85 members, which is amazing. Like, it's great. I love it. Like, I host weekly sessions. I think I'm in the community teaching more than other coaches. But what other coaches may have on me, more or less, is that they didn't have a 9 to 5, or they were able to build out resources earlier than me because they had already like kind of abandoned the 9 to 5. Like, they had already gone into UGC a year before me, right? Like the first wave. So that's kind of like my way of catching up, more or less. I'm like, we're just going to do sessions. Plus,
yeah, that's cool.
being on the agency side, I have a lot more industry insight. So a lot of people will more or less regurgitate what they're reading online and then put it in their own words and then like sell that back to their students. Whereas I've got 6 clients at work. I'm constantly testing creative. Like one of our clients does like $1 million in ad spend like in a month. Like it's insane.
So you can A/B test a ton of stuff.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do so much. I'm writing like for one client, like 10 to 15 scripts just for like the month, and that's one client. Now multiply that by 6, right? So I do a lot of testing. I hire a lot of creators. I do a lot of like post-production editing in regards to like telling the editors what they need to do to make the videos better. So I do all that stuff. So for me, I'm like, you guys are not going to get this anywhere else.
You got both sides of it, right? Where like it's for me, like I'm only on the creator side, so I don't know what I don't know on the agency side or on the client side or on the marketing team side, right?
Yeah.
How was that transition? This is more of just a personal question, from sales to marketing. Like that's a big leap.
It's very similar. So like when I did my MBA, I did my MBA in marketing, and so much of my MBA, marketing MBA was like related to, I could relate it back to like what I learned in sales, because sales and marketing have to work together, right?
Yeah,
so like
for sure.
when you're making creative, right? From my sales background, and it's easier for me to kind of think of like how to word this better so that it doesn't sound too salesy, or like, you know, how to kind of create ads in a specific way, because it goes really, really well together. But I think my sales background more or less has helped me more on my business side, just in terms of like, you know, generating those warm leads, converting them, top of funnel stuff. So that's been pretty interesting. And like one of my like managers, he's like a mentor basically, more or less. But like he always said, he's like, you're always going to be a salesperson. He's like, the best salespeople usually say they're not salespeople, but it's true, right? But another big thing that I tell all my community members is that we're all salespeople. You're a salesperson. I'm a salesperson. They're salespeople, because if we don't talk about our businesses every day, we're not talking about our UGC business, our personal brand, we're not selling ourselves. That's one day that like you're missing from getting in front of the right people. And that's why I'm so big on personal branding, because I don't pitch. I haven't pitched since like May of 2023. And I don't intend on going back. Everything is inbound. And that's because I pour a lot into my sales process. I have a cadence, right? So that's where sales and the personal branding kind of like play into each other. So that's really helped me, I guess you could say.
So you haven't had an inbound, you haven't pitched all of them. Every single thing you get comes through inbound, through like Instagram, TikTok, X, all that. Email.
Yeah, I don't pitch. And like that was another reason why I refused to quit my job. It's a funny story. So like on average, I will always make somewhere between $7,000 to $14,000 like in a really good month. Okay. So that like to me sounds amazing, but there was once a month that I had last year, July of 2024, I only made $2,200, and I cried the whole month.
It's gonna haunt you forever.
I cried the whole month. It haunted me. I hated the start of every single month, but my fiance told me, he was like, you have a job for a reason.
Yeah. 100%,
you have a job for a reason. But like ever since then, touch wood, I have not had that problem happen. I don't know what happened that month. It was an anomaly. I'm like, I haven't had a month like this since I started. But yeah, everything comes inbound. Now that like my salary is a little bit higher, I'm able to bring in that additional income from like my mentorship and my school community. I'm definitely able to kind of like be more picky with my UGC deals. So over the last 3 months, I've averaged just about $8,000, which is all inbound. Don't have to. Yeah,
that's insane. That's insane. What would you recommend to brand new people? So like this podcast has a lot of brand new listeners, people that found, that follow me through TikTok and the podcast, obviously. What would you recommend to brand new UGC creators that are working full time, right? And like for a portfolio, for example, right? If you're saying, or how you mentioned earlier, I created a portfolio, it was a little too aesthetic, so I tweaked it. Like, do you recommend creating a portfolio then right out the gate? Do you recommend getting on platforms like for people that are working 9 to 5, or is it like, hey, you need to do all of the above and see what sticks?
The only platform I ever went on was Vidsy. That was it. I've never been on any other platform before. But like my biggest advice to UGC creators just starting straight out the gate is like, number one, educate yourself. Like, learn about the direct response marketing formula, learn about just UGC in general, learn about best practices, analyze so many ads so you can follow the flow and understand. And then when it comes to building your UGC portfolio, go and visit the Meta ad library and pick your like 10 to 15 favorite things in your house that you already have. Okay. Go to the Meta ad library, put their names and see if they're, using UGC creators.
Put the names of the products in.
Put the names of the products, or just put the name of like the brand.
Yeah.
And if they're running ads, right? If they're running ads, create UGC examples for those brands. Why? Because UGC is all about faking it till you make it. Like, brands don't need to know that you didn't work with those brands. But if your work is good, right? It doesn't matter. None of that matters at the end of the day. So that's like my number one advice. My number two advice is, again, like really studying ads. There's so many creators that analyze ads. They talk about ads. Just go watch them. There's ads floating all around X from UGC creators. Study them. Follow the flow, right? Yeah. See what you can replicate. Never copy, but just obviously take inspiration, learn about what hooks are, all that fun stuff. And then build your UGC portfolio and personal branding right out the hop, like straight out the gate. Get on X if you don't want to be anywhere else. Go network with the community. Post your UGC examples once they're made and all that jazz. Apply to jobs. Apply to everything. Yeah. The more you are seen, the more likely you are to get booked. And that's where sales comes in. It's a numbers game. The creators that are getting inbounds are not lucky. Their face is just everywhere. If you think about it, consistency compounds, right? So if you started UGC 3 years ago, and you've been consistent with your personal branding, wouldn't you be more likely to close more deals than somebody that just started 1 year ago and they're posting at the same cadence as you? You have more content floating around in the world on these platforms than the other person does, right? Yeah. That's kind of my logic. At the beginning, you want to post so much that other people are sick of seeing you. Yeah. But that's what sales is. Sales is a numbers game. You want to get booked, you need to be seen. So that's these are like my 3 biggest tips.
Yeah. Personal branding is tough because I feel like a lot of people, the allure of UGC is like, you don't have to post on your own social, right? Like that's the biggest thing. But that's for like, if you want to go on the platforms like Incense or like I haven't done Vidsy, right? But it's probably very similar to all these other platforms. And so how do you get those people that are like against that, right? That are like, hey, I don't want to create an Instagram account that's like UGC Nate. Like that's crazy. Like, what if my friends see it?
A lot of my friends are like that. My best friend is like that. She's like, I don't want to make an Instagram. I don't want to make a TikTok. I'm like, get on X then. Like, you will not succeed in this space if you are not okay with putting yourself out there, number one. Number two, diversity is key, but if you don't want to diversify, that's on you. My whole spiel to my students is that where you are will dictate the quality of inbounds you're going to get. Like, there's a lot of agencies on X, but there's more brands in other places. You want higher paying deals, you want to close brand deals. You want those $300, $400, maybe $500 deals, you're working with agencies. Agencies have lower budgets, brands have bigger budgets, right? Yeah. So that's kind of like what I tell them. But I mean, totally 100%. Like, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. But you have to get on X. You got to show your face. You got to show your personality. You got to show what you're all about. Brands just want to know, are they capable of doing this? What does their voice sound like? Like, how different are they? Right? Like, that's why I say variety is key. I go through so many so many portfolios. Every single video looks the same.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, something like same video from the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
5 different skincare products. Yeah. No, I feel you there.
Variety.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, because I think a lot of people, and the funny thing is, as you're saying this, I'm like, I need to post on X more. Like, I haven't posted on X for a minute. You know, like
I told you that at Trans event.
I know you told me that, and I'm a sucker. I need to do it. I took your advice, and I've been posting more, but not as much as I should. I always forget about X. Well, I'm to the point too where I work full time, and so like I'm already overwhelmed enough with what I have. Or it's like not a need, but I'm like, well, at some point I'm going to have a July 2024, and I'm like, I'm going to be pissed that I didn't start posting on X before. Yeah. So that's a good point. You got to build that foundation and that personal branding, especially, and that's the other thing too, is like, if you want higher deals, then it's like, hey, you're going to do less work for the same amount of money, if not more money. So like, why not do that? That's a great reminder. What are the biggest, I'm gonna tap into your agency side now on the creative side. What are the biggest trends you're seeing in the UGC space from the brand side?
Yeah, like we're seeing kind of like that fizzling out of what we would call traditional UGC, like hook, body, CTA, like talking to camera. Like we're seeing the fizzling out of that. It's people have learned how to sniff it out. So like now we're transitioning more to like, we have a lot of clients that are coming to us. They're saying, well, we've done UGC. We want to do something different. So we're pivoting more to kind of like, staged organic, more elevated UGC. So that's UGC that's like shot on like a DSLR. Like you're telling more like a story. People know that it's an ad, but it looks good. Like it's not just like us in front of our iPhone cameras. Podcasts, man on the street type deal. Like
I hate them. I freaking hate
authentic
those so
ways. Yeah, like those organic, authentic ways that we see on TikTok, like organic videos. Taking organic videos and making those into ads, skits, stuff like that. So that's what we're seeing a lot of. Even for myself, like I've pitched a lot of concepts that maybe I wouldn't do otherwise as a UGC creator for myself, but the clients love them, and these are huge brands, right? And like that gives me confidence as a UGC creator. I'm like, okay, like why shouldn't I do it, right? Like why shouldn't I make a script like this?
Give me one example. So you're pitching stuff that you're like, I for sure wouldn't do this, but someone else should do it. Give me an example of one of those.
100%. Like staged organic stuff where it's like people coming out of the gym and like stopping them and like, oh my God, like, having like an organic,
I have to do one of those with my wife literally today.
Yeah. Or like a POV type of concept where like you're actually acting. So it's like POV, you're a mom, like POV, you're a mom on the go. So it's like, you're going to pretend to be a mom, and it's like, no, honey, you can't do that. Like you're literally, like, you're acting, right?
Like
but it's
brutal.
It's funny for the audience, right? So it's a lot harder. Honestly, it's easier said than done. So it's definitely like a lot harder for the audience to like. The audience knows you're putting on a show, and they're going to stay because it's funny. But you're going to give them value so that they stay till the end, right? Yeah. Versus in a UGC ad, it's like, 3 reasons why I skip, right? Like that's the kind of stuff. So more walk and talks, a lot of funny stuff. Like humor is one thing that brings people together and like creating funny stuff. Like I just made a couple of ads for an insurance app client of ours, and I've never made an ad like this before. Like it was elevated UGC. It was very sarcastic. It was with like an actor. The ad was awesome. I shared it with my community. I'm like, guys, check this out. Like, this is so cool. They're like, is he an actor? I'm like, technically, yeah. But they hadn't seen UGC like this before because creators aren't making UGC like this. So it's definitely, it's a lot of fun.
If you're a UGC creator, well, yeah, so you are a UGC creator. But if you're a UGC creator, you charge more for those types, right? Would you, as the brand, are you expecting to pay higher for those types that are like, hey, this is like hardcore acting?
The brand has a fixed rate that they pay the agency figures out the rest from the back end. So like if that means that maybe we pay one person a little bit more, well then that means that we pay one person a little bit less. But like not even paying people less, if that makes sense. Like budget wise, you'd be surprised. Like us as UGC creators, I want to say that we actually charge a lot more than some actors. I'm going to put that out there. So I'm pretty guilty of that myself.
That's wild. But like, hey, if you're doing like an acting like elevate, that's the thing too. Like, I feel like some of the videos I had to do one the other day. I posted about it on my TikTok because my wife freaking hates being in the videos, and she made the mistake of agreeing to one with the script. Now we've done the same script probably 15 times for 15 different videos, same setting, same script, different settings. But we had to do one of the what you're talking about, like the running as you're having a conversation. So not walking on the street, full sprinting on the street, like while we're having a conversation, out of breath, like had to caption it because you can't even understand what we're saying.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I feel like I should have charged way more for this video. Like, this is crazy. They got such a steal for this, you know? And I feel like that's kind of becoming the norm now. It's like, hey, I want you to, even just Saturday, one of my buddies that I got into UGC, he needed 3 women to interview on the street for a dating app, you know? He's like, I'm like, well, luckily I know 3 women that will do UGC, dude. But like, please tell me you charge these guys like up the wazoo for 4 people in a video, you know?
That's a lot.
You know, and so I feel like on the creative side, a lot of times, especially if you're newer, so if you're like a new UGC creator listening to this, like if someone asks you to involve a second or third or something like crazy out of the ordinary, like don't be afraid to ask for a little bit more on the budget side.
I agree. Like creators, we've seen they charge extra for their kids in the videos. 100% charge extra, right? Like they're just signing up for you. But this specific actor did an amazing job, and he came at a very fair rate. So I guess
that's crazy. Yeah, so that's funny. So that's interesting to hear that that's kind of where it's headed. And I think a lot of us as creators too, and this is a question I get all the time. I try to go live on TikTok and talk about the stuff and promote community like and things like that. But one of the questions I always get is like, well, don't you think it's going to get too oversaturated? And my answer to that, and I would love to hear your take. My answer is like, hey, there's so many, just the same as there's a lot of creators that have, and a lot of just regular humans that don't know what UGC is. There's just as many companies that don't know what UGC is yet.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
I actually had a conversation with my fiance about this yesterday because he asked me, he's like, well, what do you do? Like, what happens? And I'm like, honestly, like, if you think about it, saturation is one thing to be worried about if the industry was small. So like you said, there's millions and millions of brands out there. But here's the other thing. The landscape of UGC is changing. There are a lot of one-trick ponies out there, people that can only do UGC one way. They don't know how to do it any other way. They don't know how to do podcast out. They don't know how to do this. They don't know how to do that. That is going to fizzle out very, very soon. So you're going to see like a lot of coaches, a lot of mentors, whatever. They're not going to be able to keep up because a lot of, the trends that we're seeing, like they're coming from the brand side, right? Or the agency side. Like creative strategists are going and they're developing these things, coming up with new ideas, bringing it to the brand side. And if you can't keep up, and it sounds easy to keep up, but it's really not. Like I'm seeing a lot of the same old, boring UGC. And I guess you could say I'm guilty for it too. I feel like I create a lot of
people send you the script. What are you going to do? No, let me make this harder on myself.
So
you're going to say, yes, I'll do that exact script.
But that's the thing, right? Like if agencies are sending you a script and you can't execute it properly, you're not going to get booked again, right?
Yeah. 100%,
and then what happens? Yeah. It's going to keep happening. Like you're going to keep winning one-offs. So much of my business is repeat business.
Yeah.
So much of it. I close maybe 2 or 3 new clients a month, but a lot of my clients come back, and that's because, top performing ads, what we're doing is working, right? So you're going to see a lot of mentors, a lot of coaches start to fizzle out. They're not going to be teaching it anymore, maybe because they need to focus on upping their UGC game, right? Like they need to go and like re-educate themselves. So I think that in terms of like saturation, I don't think that it matters because the ones that are good, they're going to stay, and natural selection will take everybody else out. So like it's very hard to be oversaturated, and you're going to see a lot of creators get booked by a lot of the same brands. Like one creator might get booked by like 3 or 4 brands because they specialize in something. They do a good job, right? But if you're working with brands, like 90% of the time, they're making you write the script. So if you write a crappy script, they're not going to hire you again.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's a good point. So what do you do when people, like if you're a creator and you're getting all your inbounds through something like Fiverr? Mm-hmm. I'm saying this because I'm describing myself right now. I do 90% of my stuff through Fiverr, right? Mm-hmm. I'm getting the script 95% of the time to me because they're agencies most of the time. Okay. They're not brands, just like you said. So is there a worry that like if you're a creator and not pushing back and like trying to like push the limits of like creativity that you eventually plateau? Or is it like, hey, I'm just going to why would I do extra work when they're giving me the shot list and a script? I'm giving them what they paid for type thing.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
So my whole thing is, if you want to run a business, and a business that's going to be, outlasting, you're trying to build for longevity, you want to grow it, you want to scale it, you have to up your skills. If you're doing UGC because you're like, damn, I'm going to just ride the wave until I can't anymore, well, that's a different story, right? So if you're okay with just taking the agency scripts and doing what you need to do, that's fine. Eventually, like, that might dry up, and then you'll realize, well, shit, I never upped my skills. I never made the effort to learn how to script better. And by then, the industry standard, like the pole was here, but now it's going to be here, and you're going to be back here, right? So that's kind of my logic, is that as a business owner, you are responsible for making sure that you are staying on top of trends, and you're constantly, educating yourself. So for you, if you're getting a lot of, scripts from agencies, my number one question to you would be like, well, what are you learning from them? Are they different? Is there something that you're learning that could be, applied from one to the other? And sometimes it's okay to say, hey, I actually think that like this might be a better hook, or this doesn't make sense. I get really shy. I'm like, I don't want my face on shitty content. So like, I will tell them like, I think we should do it this way. I give you extra shots. This is like, I use my best judgment, stuff like that. But that's why like, I also enjoy working with brands specifically, because they let you have so much freedom.
Way more creative freedom.
Way more creative freedom.
Yeah.
And like a lot of brands work with 3, 4, 5 different agencies, and then they'll also go and hire creators because they want different ideas. They want everything, right? So that's my number one thing. If you're building a business, you want to build it for longevity, you got to keep upgrading your skills, and you're doing yourself a disservice by not doing it. You want to take a shortcut, take the easy way out, sure. But eventually,
it's going to call me out. You're totally calling me out there. I got you. I always like to ask this question, not to change subjects, but before I forget, is like, what's the coolest thing you've ever gotten product wise? What's the like worst product? And you have to call the worst product, but like, what's like the most cringe video, or like the most awkward video you've done? Do you remember what the best and the worst?
I feel like it was with an agency, and this is like at the very beginning of UGC. It was like for a new product, like a new brand that had just rolled out, like a kojic acid soap with like turmeric in it, and I had to like put my fingers in it, and like I have nails in it, the turmeric stained them, and it was like I had to like rub it on my elbow, rub it in my armpit, and I was getting paid like $200 just to do that, and it was like awful. So that's probably like the worst like product I've ever had to like deal with. In terms of like the best, that's a really cool question. Like there was a point, I think it was in 2023, I worked with 2 sauna blanket brands, and the sauna blankets aren't cheap, mind you, like they're pretty expensive. I never used them again after the videos, but I thought that was pretty cool that I got a sauna blanket. Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always furniture or like something to do with like the bed or blankets and stuff. I feel like that's always the answer, right? Something that's
I haven't gone into furniture or anything like that. I'm like a very... I can't do it if I know it's going to take a lot of effort out of me. Do
you turn down stuff where they're like, hey, can you build this couch? You're just
like, I turn it down because my man's going to get pissed if I'm making him build a couch. Like, he's going to get so mad. The number one thing he's going to ask is like, how are they paying you for this?
How much are they paying you for this?
And he'll get so mad. He's like, wait a minute, I need a new couch. What do you mean?
Not worth it. Yeah, he just under his breath. Not worth it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, he monitors like the brand deals. Oh, what are we working on today? So like this weekend we did shoes. We did a popcorn maker. We did an app. We did like a jet lag supplement. And there was one. Cool. Yeah, it was really cool.
What brand is that? What's the jet? Can you say the name?
It's called Flake.
Flykit, KIT?
Yeah. Okay. FLYKITT. Really cool, like jet lag supplement.
Okay, cool. We go on a lot of long trips. I'm like, 13-year-old and 11-year-old that would definitely get.
It comes with these glasses. It comes with supplements for inflammation, and it comes with like timed drink mixes that like line up with your circadian rhythm, so that like you're not tired. And the glasses actually like they monitor the amount of light you're getting, so that adjusting to your new time zone isn't as like difficult. It's really cool.
That is wild.
Can you tell I had to memorize the scripts for the stage?
Yeah, I'm like, dang, you know all that stuff. That's crazy.
But yeah, so one of the brands we did this weekend was like a shoe brand. And he's like, oh my gosh. He goes, they came back? He goes, I haven't worked on this brand in so long. Like, he's so cute. He like owns the whole process.
He just runs the whole back end. That's awesome.
He
Actually
does.
awesome. Speaking of that, good segue into, so again, you're like, you're the guru on people working full time and having this as a side gig. Any tools, tips, tricks, or anything to like manage the brands, right? Like obviously if you're using a platform, that probably most of the messaging is within that platform. But if you're getting inbounds, are you like on a Google sheet? Are you on your notes app? Or how do you manage all that?
Number one, I am a notes app girly. I love my Apple Notes. I have like a UGC to-do list on there, but like my emails, I manage all my emails on my own. So inbounds come in, I just tag them, do all my negotiation, and then I have like my own Excel sheet. It's just like a tracker. I put the date it came in, like what the name is, how much they're paying me, how many videos, when does the content due, whatever.
Is product received yet, all that stuff.
Exactly. But I'm very bad at filling that stuff out. Like I pretty much only end up filling out the date. If it was an inbound, the name of the brand, how many deliverables, and how much money. That's it. That's as far as I get. And then I highlight in turquoise if I've submitted the content, but I'm waiting to be paid. And then I highlight in green once I've been paid. So
that's smart. Yeah, I've been doing this for over a year now, and I'm like, I probably need to do a system because now I'm starting to get more emails.
I just do an Excel sheet.
Dude, I need to do that. It'd be cool if somebody came out with, if you're listening to this and you're a freaking web developer, it's $1 billion idea. Like, come out with an easy app for UGC creators where they can just input this stuff. Doesn't matter what platform they got it from, email, X, whatever, and then you just fill in a quick form, and then it creates a little dashboard for you.
I think UGC Pro, so Kelly, I believe, has Notion templates.
She's
like
templates
Notion.
Like
yeah. To my knowledge, it's Notion. She's got Notion templates. I'm not a Notion girly, but there are a lot of Notion people out there. So if you like Notion, it's pretty good.
It's close. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to check it out. I know that I met her at the Foundations event, so hopefully they do something else like that. You need to throw one in Toronto. A West Coast one and an East Coast. Oh, you're actually doing one?
Yeah, so we did one last year. It was called Creator Confidential. So now we're doing Creator Confidential round 2 this year. The date is July 19th, and it's going to be a 6-7 hour event. We're pretty much going to have like similar concepts, swag bags. We're going to do a panel, all that fun stuff. So more to come on that, but follow Creator Confidential on Instagram because we have our waitlist up, and oh my god, we're already at like just over 130 people on that waitlist. So
you have a waitlist already. How many people are you accepting in it?
So I believe we're taking up to 200 people. So waitlist people, join the waitlist. 100% go put your name on it, and once tickets go out, you'll be notified. And then
what is the Instagram one more time?
Creator Confidential.
Just one word.
Just one word.
Creator Confidential. Okay. And then if anybody wants to follow you on social, what's your handle?
It's socials with Mehr. So socials with MEHR.
MEHR. Okay, sweet. And then I'm going to put your 6 figures after 5. That's what it's called, right? Did I messed it up? In the show notes too. So if you're on, depending on where you're podcast, Apple, Spotify, whatever you're listening to, it's in the show notes. The link will be there. To Mehr's community. I've had a lot of people. I know a lot of people that love your community. So I'm and the foundations thing was cool too. A lot of people are like, I'm in Mehr's community. That's how I got here. The first place. So it's kind of crazy because I'm still very, very new to this community, but everybody knows everybody. It's like small world for sure, but it's cool. It's a super, super supportive community too. Even for me, like working full time, I'm like, I like hanging out with these people with the community. The UGC community is way cooler.
Me too. Like my mentees have become like my sisters. So honestly, it's so cute. So like I love it. It's having a community is so important. You have people to vent to, people to talk to. They're going through the same stuff as you, stuff that people in real life probably would never understand, right? So 100%. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest argument for getting in a community if you're starting UGC. So if you're listening to this and you are just getting into UGC, like maybe you don't need a full course, but like having a community is like so invaluable because like ask your closest 5 friends what UGC is. They probably have no idea. You have no one to talk to about any of it, how to negotiate any of that stuff. So again, check out any last words of wisdom or advice for you, Mehr, before we wrap it up.
Honestly, getting started is really hard, but once you find like momentum and you get like that wind beneath your wings, it really takes off from there. So keep studying. It's not oversaturated. Y'all can do this.
Love it. Yeah, that's great advice. I think a lot of people get discouraged when they start, I mean, even I hear all the time, people message me like, hey, you said that if I did this, I'd get a job in a couple of weeks. I'm like, hey, like sometimes you do, sometimes you don't,
Really don't.
yeah, you just got to get momentum. Like it'll happen. But you got, like you said, like if you aren't making quality content, there's not a whole lot we can do for you at that point. And even me, like you've said a bunch of stuff today and I'm like, oh shoot, I got to work on that. I got to work on this, And I think that, yeah, it's like anything else. If you're not getting better, people are passing you up and you're getting worse. Right. So, well, I appreciate you so much, Mehr. If you guys are listening to this and you want to listen to the other episodes or subscribe, it's on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast. Again, go check out 6 Figures After 5 in the community in the show notes. Follow Mehr on social, and we will catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks again so much for being on.
Awesome. Thanks, Nate.